Shalom, family and friends. Greetings to the 12 tribes of Yasharal scattered abroad. Welcome. In this video, we will be continuing on the subject of the divine remarriage, Yah with the nation of Yasharal. We will be delving into future events, prophecy yet to be fulfilled. Previously, we looked at the ancient Hebraic process of marriage and how Yahushua HaMashiach, as a messenger of Yah, fulfilled the agreement between the families, the ketubah, betrothal, and bride price. Now we're going to look at the future events of the marriage chamber, messengers, marriage feast, and consummation. We also discussed how the Modi, the appointed times, and the Chagim, the feast days, reflect this process, and how Yahushua HaMashiach fulfilled the spring feasts. Now we're going to discuss the fall feasts and how these are connected to future events. After the man is betrothed to the woman, he goes back to his father's house and builds a room for his bride-to-be. That is the marriage chamber. Yehuchanan, or John chapter 14, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also." So this is matrimonial language that the Messiah is using here. That the man, the bridegroom, would go to prepare a place, to build a room in the house for his bride-to-be. Matthew chapter 24. "But of that day and hour knows no man, no, not the messengers of heaven, but my Father only." So in this marriage process, when the bridegroom, the husband-to-be, builds a room for his future bride, the father inspects the room that his son builds for his wife. And when the father says, "Okay, the room is good, the room is complete," then he gives permission for his son to go and send the messengers to bring his bride to his house. So we see here that only the father knows the day and the hour, because it's the father who gives permission to the son for the son to retrieve his wife. Chazon, or Revelation chapter 21. "And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from Elohim, having the esteem of Elohim, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 messengers, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Yasharal. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. So this is the marriage chamber. This is the room that has been prepared for the wife of the Messiah. This is the room that the Messiah has built for his bride being the nation of Yasharal. Verse 14, and the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. We go to Matthew chapter 19. Then answered Kepha and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all, and followed you. What shall we have therefore? And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that you which have followed me in the regeneration of what? The regeneration of the nation of Yasharal. When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his esteem, you also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Yasharal. We see the concern is with the nation of Yasharal. This may seem very different than Christian dogma, where the focus is on all people, all the world, all nations, but the Bible, the scriptures, the prophets, the Besorah, the gospel, is very ethnocentric. It is concerned with the Israelites. Luke chapter 22, that you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Yasharal. So we see that the 12 disciples, which became the 12 emissaries or apostles, will be judging the 12 tribes of Yasharal, because it will be a restoration, a regeneration of the kingdom of Yasharal. In the marriage process of the Hebraic system, after the bridegroom finalizes his building of the marriage chamber, the room for his wife to live in, and after the father gives his approval, messengers are sent to the wife's house to bring the wife to her new home. Matthew chapter 24. And he shall send his messengers with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the 4 winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Alright, so he's sending his messengers to gather together his elect. Yeshayahu, or Isaiah chapter 45. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Yasharal mine elect, I have even called you by your name. I have surnamed you, though you have not known me. So Yasharal is the elect of Yah. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. For the Master himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, or the chief messenger, and with the trump of Elohim, and the dead in Mashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Master in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Master. So we see that the messengers are sent to gather the bride being the nation of Yasharal. Now we see in Matthew the sound of a trumpet, and in Thessalonians with a shout. We see that this has some connection with Yom Teruah, or the day of trumpets, or the day of shouting. After the messengers are sent to bring the bride to her new home, there is a marriage feast, and that marriage feast, according to Hebraic tradition, lasts 7 days. At that marriage feast, the father supplies the guest to the marriage feast with white linen garments. So they come to the marriage feast with the white linen garments that are provided by the father of the bridegroom. Now, in ancient Israel, the season of marriage was during the Chag, or Feast of Sukkot. Sukkot was 7 days, celebrated in Jerusalem, and this was the season of marriage. Revelation chapter 7. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So who is this great multitude? So this is after the counting of the 144,000. Then there is this appearance of this great multitude. Let's go to Bereshit, or Genesis chapter 48. The messenger which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Yitzchak, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. So this is Father Jacob, or Israel, giving a blessing to Manasseh and Ephraim. Verse 19, and his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. So this is speaking about Ephraim. So we see that this great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, is Ephraim. Now Ephraim was the largest tribe in the house of Yasharal, and the house of Yasharal was scattered among the nations. So now we see a gathering of the house of Yasharal being led by the tribe of Ephraim, coming out of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues. So this is speaking about a great multitude of Israelites. These Israelites will be clothed with white robes. Matthew chapter 22. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son. Verse 11. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. So that wedding garment is that white linen garment that the father provides for the wedding guests. So this particular guest, for some reason, refused to wear the white robe that was provided for him. And he said unto him, Friend, how came you in here not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. So this white robe is the uniform, the garment to be worn at the marriage feast. We also see that these Israelites will have palms in their hands. So let's go to Wayikra, or Leviticus chapter 23. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruit of the land, you shall keep a feast unto Yahuwah 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. And you shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before Yahuwah your Elohim 7 days. So again, we see this imagery of the Feast of Sukkot, or the Feast of Tabernacles. Verse 13, And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? So where did all these people come from? Who are they? Yeshayahu, or Isaiah chapter 49. Then shall you say in your heart, Who has begotten me these, seeing I have lost my children, and am desolate, a captive, and removing to and fro? And who has brought up these? Behold, I was left alone. These, where had they been? So this is speaking in Yeshayahu, or Isaiah, about the nation of Yashral, the Israelites that have been scattered. And now, fulfilling prophecy, they are returning. Verse 14, And I said unto him, Sir, you know. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and they have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. So who has come out of the great tribulation? Devarim, or Deuteronomy chapter 4. When you are in tribulation, and all these things are come upon you, even in the latter days, if you turn to Yahuwah your Elohim, and shall be obedient unto his voice, for Yahuwah your Elohim is a merciful all, he will not forsake you, neither destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers, which he swore unto them. So it's the Israelites that are in great tribulation, and especially in great tribulation these past 400 years. These are they which came out of great tribulation. These are the Israelites. Jacob's trouble. So again, we have this repeated imagery of white robes. What are these which are arrayed in white robes? These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. So let's look at this. Matthew, or Matthew chapter 26. For this is my blood of the New Testament, or New Covenant, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. So the blood of the New Covenant, which was shed for the remission of sins, freedom from sin. Sin is transgression of the Torah. So when we accept the blood of the New Covenant, that means that we make a commitment to return to the Torah, and we are washed clean of our sin. Sin meaning Torah breaking. Revelation chapter 19. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. So Israelites are the saints of Yah, a set-apart nation. What is righteousness? Devarim, or Deuteronomy chapter 6. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahuwah our Elohim as he has commanded us. So when it talks about these are they which came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb, the white robes represent complete obedience to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yah. The blood of the Lamb represents the blood of the renewed covenant. the Israelites that have returned to the covenant of Yah. Bereshit, or Genesis chapter 49. Yehuda, you are he whom your brothers shall praise. Your hand shall be in the neck of your enemies. Your father's children shall bow down before you. Yehuda is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, you are gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Revelation chapter 5. And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Yehuda, the root of Daud, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. So we understand that Yahushua HaMashiach came through the tribe of Yehuda, and he is the Lion of the tribe of Yehuda. Back to Genesis 49. The scepter shall not depart from Yehuda, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be, binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and is clothed in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. We see that the gathering of the people shall be unto the king of Yehuda, this Mashiach. And we see this imagery of the wine and the grapes. Now Sukkot, or the Feast of Tabernacles, is the first fruits of the grape harvest. This is when they will bring the grape harvest to Jerusalem to give as a tithe at the temple. Shemot, or Exodus chapter 34. And you shall observe the Feast of Weeks of the first fruits of wheat harvest, and the Feast of Ingathering at the year's end. Thrice in the year shall all your men children appear before Adonai Yahuwah, the Elohim of Yasharal. So again, Sukkot, or the Feast of Tabernacles, is one of these 3 feasts during the year in which all men were to go up to Jerusalem. So we see this idea of the gathering of the people at the time of Sukkot, or the Feast of Tabernacles. Revelation chapter 19. Let us be glad and rejoice, and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. And he said unto me, Write, Blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said unto me, These are the true sayings of Elohim. So who has been called? The nation of Yasharal has been called. The nation of Yasharal is the wife. And he will send his messengers to gather his people, his wife, to the marriage supper. So we must make ourselves ready. We see that she made herself ready, and she was arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, the righteousness of the saints. We must return to the covenant, accept the renewed covenant, remove our Torah breaking, remove our sin, and become obedient to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yah. Yeshayahu, or Isaiah chapter 62. You shall no more be termed forsaken, neither shall your land any more be termed desolate, but you shall be called Hephzibah, my delight is in her, and your land Beulah, or lady, for Yahuwah delights in you, and you shall be married. For as a young man marries a virgin, so shall your sons marry you, and as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall your Alim rejoice over you. So again, this is speaking about the nation of Yasharal. The nation of Yasharal is the nation that will be gathered and married. Revelation chapter 21. And I, Yehochanan, saw the set-apart city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Alim out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And there came unto me one of the 7 messengers, which had the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come here, I will show you the bride, the Lamb's wife. So remember when it talked about the messengers will be sent and to gather the people, to gather the Israelites from the 4 corners of the earth, and we will meet him in the air. It's totally different than the idea of the rapture. We're not being gathered to go up in the clouds and disappear. No, we're being gathered to enter back into the land that was given to our fathers. So the final step in the process of Hebraic marriage is the consummation, where the husband and the wife lay down together, and traditionally, according to Hebraic custom, they would lay down on a sheet, assuming that the woman is a virgin. And when the husband goes into his wife, the blood of the covenant is spilled on that sheet, and that sheet is given to the wife's parents as proof of her virginity. Revelation chapter 22. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Alim and of the Lamb. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. So we see this river of life flowing from the throne of the Lamb, from the throne of the Mashiach, from New Jerusalem. Yeshayahu or Isaiah chapter 2. And many people shall go and say, Come you, let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah, to the house of the Alim of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the Torah, and the word of Yahuwah from Jerusalem. So again, this water of life is the Torah. The Torah is life, which goes totally against Christian doctrine that says the Torah is a burden, the Torah is done away with. No, this is not the teaching of the scripture. This is not the teaching of the Mashiach. Micah chapter 4. And many nations shall come and say, Come, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah, and to the house of the Alim of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths, for the Torah shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahuwah from Jerusalem. So again, repeated by the prophet, the Torah will continue to go forth when Yahushua HaMashiach reigns on his throne in Jerusalem. Verse 3, And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of Alim and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. So who are the servants of Yah? The nation of Yasharal. So there shall be no more curse. So what is he talking about? Let's go to Devarim or Deuteronomy chapter 28. And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command you this day, that Yahuwah your Elohim will set you on high above all nations of the earth. Verse 15, But it shall come to pass, if you will not hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command you this day, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. So what does it mean that there shall be no more curse? There will be no more curse because the nation of Israel will obey all the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yah. So there will be no more curse. And again, it says his servants shall serve him, so that the Israelites will serve him. There will be no more rebellion. Verse 4, and they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. So let's look at Jeremiah chapter 31. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Yasharal after those days, says Yahuwah. I will put my Torah in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their Alim, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahuwah. For they shall all know me, from the least of them until the greatest of them, says Yahuwah. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. So we see that the renewed covenant, he will put his laws, statutes, and commandments in our minds, so that we will no longer even need to teach our fellow Israelites. We will all know his laws, commandments, and statutes perfectly. Ezekiel chapter 36. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgments and do them. So his name shall be in our foreheads. His character, his nature will be all our thoughts and intentions. It will be our nature to keep his Torah. Verse 5, and there shall be no night there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun. For Yahuwah Alim gives them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. So we see that Yahuwah will give us light. Tehillim, or Psalm chapter 119, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Mishli, or Proverbs chapter 6, for the commandment is a lamp and the Torah is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Yeshayahu, or Isaiah chapter 51, hearken unto me, my people, and give ear unto me, O my nation. For a Torah shall proceed from me, and I will make my judgment to rest for a light of the people. So we see that the Torah will be perfect in this kingdom, the renewed kingdom of Yasharal, the kingdom of Yah on earth. The Israelites will keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, and no longer be rebellious. That's what Shaul or Paul talks about. All Yasharal shall be saved. This is what he is talking about. The nation of Yasharal will be re-established. This is what the prophets look forward to. This is what the disciples of Yahushua HaMashiach look forward to. This is what Yahushua himself promised. A restoration of the kingdom of Yasharal in righteousness and in truth. Verse 17, and the Spirit and the bride say, Come. And let him that hears say, Come. And let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. The water of life is the word of Yah. The Torah is life. As Israelites, we are bound by an eternal covenant. And it's our choice we choose whether to accept the marriage proposal of the Lamb. It's our choice to make our robes white in His blood of the renewed covenant, to remove all the filth and dirt from our robes, that sin, that Torah breaking. It's our choice to make ourselves clean robes by being obedient to His Torah. Let the nation of Yasharal become a faithful and true bride to Yahushua HaMashiach. The Spirit says, come. Fear Elohim and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Bind up the testimony, seal the Torah among my disciples. Shalom, family. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Like, comment, and share.